Hi, I'm Matt Hernandez, and this is Book Chat with You. In this podcast, I do my best to make every episode a conversation with you. I love to converse with you about various stories, and so let's get to it. Today, we're still looking at Carol Shields' collected stories. How do I get the light just right? And today we're looking at the short story Poaching. Now, when I was much younger, I think I had this book. I don't know how, but I lost this book, and I don't remember buying this book again, and I seem to have it again. And this story this um, book kind of made me fall in love with reading. It's just relaxing. When I read this story, Poaching, there's not much of a plot. It's a very simple scene. There's two people, Dobey and I, and they're just picking up hitchhikers in Britain. And it starts off, and they stay at a hotel, and at the same hotel King John had once stayed in. And I think that this is supposed to be a clue that Dobey and, I, the narrator, both know English history pretty well. And maybe I can make some other kind of guess. Maybe they two are Canadian because Carol Shields, most of her characters seem to be Canadian. I mean, in the story, one of the characters is clearly Canadian. And they just pick up hitchhikers. They picked up two hitchhikers, a mother and daughter from Australia. Then they pick up another hitchhiker from Canada who has a lisp, and he is studying, or he's going to get his PhD, and he just loves this whole experience. And they talk about how to get people talking, or we are told what they try to do to get people talking while hitchhiking. So I'm guessing there's some kind of researchers. Now, the more and more I might read this, the more and more I might pick up clues about what's going on. But the whole thing about rereading is there's only so many times I can reread something before I try to, put this to recording and put it online. And this story is quite the opposite of the last story. I mean, I want to speak a little off the cuff in a sense, not script these too much other than just the repetitive pattern of making these videos. But in the last one, I might have kind of omitted that after a while the character Ian was kind of like choking almost on his own spit, just trying to remember how to speak in his own frustration. Almost a made up sciencey thing there, huh? I mean, is that a thing? I'd imagine not. But here it's quite the opposite, where they want people to speak, whereas in the last one, and it's wonderful when two different stories I read together have a kind of comparison together. I use this series to teach at work, which obsessively in like every unit, always comparing texts. And though it's a series for kids, I do think that it does carry a little bit into how I do this. And there's a nice juxtaposition going on between this story and the last one, right? And this one, they want to get people to speak. And my guess is that they are some kind of researchers. And every now and then, if there's something I miss in a story and I don't see what they're trying to do, I would love to hear from you. And maybe you catch something in this, some kind of metaphor, some seemingly stray sentence that I don't think has the biggest contribution. But that's what it is sometimes in a short story, right? Um, is that in a short story, every sentence sometimes counts. So though I'm doing short stories for a reason, sometimes they can be a little bit more challenging because if you read a longer text, something contemporary, it's about 250 pages. Like, if you have a whole page go on about an idea, but then in a short story you get like a sentence. So sometimes it kind of does that. Okay, well, I'm going to read about a page or so here from the bottom of page 96, and primarily read page 97. Now, the character has a lisp, and so I'm going to try to imitate the lisp a little bit. Now, I used to have a horrible stutter when I was younger, And it doesn't come out so much in this. Sometimes when I'm a bit tired, so I am a bit tired right now, but I don't think I'm going to stutter. But this character has a lisp, and I'm going to try to imitate that a little bit. Okay, we owe the muff to Wittgenstein. He's sputtered, sweeping a friendly red paw through the air and including Dobey and me in a circle of Wittgenstein uh, uh, appreciators. He had run out of money. First, he sold his camera, then his Yamaha recorder, then illegally the British Rail Pass his parents had given him when he finished his master's degree. That was why he was hitchhiking, he said. I'm going to Oxford, as though he was saying, I am a man in love. He talked rapidly, not at all embarrassed by his lisp. Dobey and I liked him for that, though normally we refrain from forming personal judgments about our passengers. He spoke as though compelled to explain to us his exact reason for being where he was at that moment. They all do. And a depressing hypothesis, but probably, as Dobey says, true. People care only about themselves. They are frenzied and driven, but only by the machinery of their own adventuring. It has been several days now since anyone's asked us who we are or what we're doing driving around like this. Usually Dobey drives, eyes on the road, listening with a supple, restless attention. I sit in the front passenger seat, my brain screwed up in a squint from looking sideways. At times, I feel that giving lifts to strangers makes us into patronizing benefactors, but Dobey says this is foolish. These strangers buy their rides with their stories. Dobey prefers to pick up strangers who are slightly um, less distraught, saying they unwind more easily. Penury or burnt out clutch. These work in our favor and save us from having to frame our careful questions. I am partial, though, to the calm, to those who stand by the roadside with their luggage in the dust, too composed or dignified to trouble the air with their thumbs. This was the remarkable Venezuelan woman who rode with us from Cardiff to Conway and spoke intermittently and in sentences that seemed trapped in their own cool vapors. Yes, she adored to travel alone. Like the song of her own thoughts, she was made fat by the sight of mountains. The Welsh sky was blue as a cushion. You know, also what I like about this is that it gives me another chance to talk about. I would like to know how to, elicit some kind of opinions and speech and thoughts from you. I mean, I don't know about hitchhiking in the modern time. I mean, some of these stories seem to take place in the early 80s, but it is quite fascinating. I mean, what might you do? Something has kind of happened to me. I mean, when I was 20, I could remember just like being at the airport and just trying to talk to anybody and everybody who might be like sitting and waiting for the plane or in the plane and that kind of thing. Yet slowly over as time passes by, I'm just more in my own head. And I hope I'm not doing that by accident here where I'm trying to figure out how we can talk together, but in reality I'm just thinking, and to have some rules. I mean, on the next page, I believe it's on the next page, it says that they even had their own rule to believe anything and everything the hitchhiker said, which can be quite fascinating. I think I'm one to maybe sometimes believe the silliness that people say and stuff. So it's a good thing I'm not like a police officer or something like that, right? But it does make one ponder a lot of things. It really, really does. Well, with that said, I've enjoyed the story Poaching, and I would enjoy hearing your thoughts about it. And how do you get people to speak? How do people try to get you to speak? Do awkward silences make you speak? I mean, if I were to pretend that this is an awkward silence, that I'm having a conversation with you and you just aren't replying back, I suppose that awkward silence is making me talk even more. But with that, have a wonderful day and see you next time. Bye.